Hi, you guys. Week 3 of distance learning. I'm here with Layla, who's not happy that I'm holding her, so I'm actually going to put her down. There you go. I just wanted to come and say hello, and now she's shaking. I just wanted to come and say hello because we don't get to see each other anymore. Um, this week, I don't have too much to say. Actually, we're doing a short mini unit, which is only 1 week long on volume. And if we were in class, we would be doing the same exact thing. There's nothing in Pearson for this because these are 8th grade standards that I'm teaching you this week. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I might have short, quick videos for each of the different types of volume that we're going to do because there's so many different types of problems that you will see with volume. But other than that, you just are going to use the formula to solve questions that I have on worksheets for you, okay? Good luck to you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Alrighty guys, today we are talking about how to find the volume of a cylinder, like I said. Wow, rocky start. Here we go. Cylinders. I do not have guided notes for you today. I do not have anything like that, so I do recommend that you write notes on a piece of paper or in your notebook on a blank piece of paper. Each of these videos for this week are just going to be pretty short, showing you how to use the formula, and then you guys are going to have practice problems on worksheets that won't be graded because there is no Pearson for this since these are 8th grade standards. So let's just start with what a cylinder is. I'm sure that you know already. I'm going to do my best to draw a cylinder. We've got these 3D shapes now, right? So the bottom is a circle, things like cans, paint cans, soda cans, that kind of stuff. And when we talk about the volume, we're talking about how to find the inside space. So how much will that can hold? To find the volume of a cylinder, so V stands for volume, of course, you are going to use the formula pi 3.14 r squared. That's the radius squared times the height. So this is a pretty straightforward formula because you've got the area of a circle, that's the pi r squared part, and then you're just timesing it by how high that cylinder is. Problems are going to give you pieces of information, you're going to plug it in, and you are going to solve. So we're going to just go through a few practice problems together, and then I have a worksheet for you to practice with. So here's the first practice problem that we're going to do. It says, given a cylinder with the radius 5 centimeters and height 8 centimeters, find the volume of the cylinder. And then it says, take pi as 3.14. So a few things to break down here. First of all, let's draw and label a cylinder. Just do your best drawing of a cylinder for me. So the height is 8. The radius, and remember if you have a circle, so this is the bottom of that cylinder, the radius is from halfway, not the diameter, which is all the way across. The radius is from the center to the side. So that radius, this piece is 5. So we're just going to plug that into our formula. V, we don't know, we're trying to find the volume, equals, now for pi, I know your calculator has a pi button. This is where directions come in handy because this problem is specifically telling us to use 3.14 for pi, which means they don't want you to use the pi button. If you use the pi button, your answer will be very close, but it won't be exactly what the answer key would say since they're telling you specifically to use 3.14. Radius, we got 5, or we're given 5, and then the height is 8. So we're going to take all those numbers and multiply them together. Let me see if I can pull my calculator. Sweet. So I'm just going to go to my calculator. I always start with the squared part. So 5 squared is 5 times 5. That gives me 25. And then I just need to say times 3.14 times 8. Therefore, the volume, equals oops, I wish I could see this at the same time, 628. You guys know I'm a stickler for the labeling, so make sure you label units if they give you them. We've got centimeters, and since we're talking about volume, that would be cubed, centimeters cubed. So that would be our answer. This is the most straightforward type of problem that you'll get. I just want to caution you guys to beware if instead of radius, if they gave us the diameter, because a lot of times the problem will say the diameter is blank. So if they give you the diameter in this problem, they would have said, hey, the diameter is 10, the height is 8. Make sure you don't plug in 10 because in the formula we use radius, not diameter. So just a little caution for you there. Make sure you pay attention to that. Okay, so here's the next type of problem. We're going to work backwards. This time they're giving us the volume and the diameter, and we're going to be asked to find the height. So if you plug into your formula what you know, so you're always just going to start with what I have written in red there and just start replacing letters with things you know. So I know that V is 314 according to the information that I'm given. We know that pi is 3.14. For radius, well, we're given the diameter is 10, which means the radius is 5. And then the height is the thing that I don't know in this problem. So now we're just going to kind of work backwards and solve for h. You guys should be pros at solving for variables at this point and moving things around. I'm going to simplify everything I can on the right side. So on the left side, I still have 314. And then I'm just going to go like totally step by step. 5 squared is 25 times the height. My next step, I would want to multiply 3.14 times 25. Let's do that. 3.14 times 25 is 78.5. 78.5. I didn't want to forget it. Perfect. Now to get h by itself, I would just divide both sides by 78.5, and then that should give me the height of that cylinder. 314 divided by 78.5, and I end up with a height of 4. So h equals 4, and I'm talking about inches. 4 inches. So that cylinder had a height of 4 inches, had a radius of 5, and the volume was 314. So that's another type of problem you might get where you have to work backwards. I'll do one more where you have to find the radius when given the volume and the height. Alright, so again we are working backwards. This time I'm given the volume and the height. I'm being asked to find the radius. I'm going to plug in the things that I do know into that formula. So I do know that the volume is 208. I do know pi is 3.14. I do not know the radius, so that stays radius squared. And I do know the height is 4. So when I'm going to solve this, what I need to do is the same exact thing as the last problem. I'm trying to get this r all by itself. The first thing I'm going to do is multiply the 3.14 and the 4 together. So I've got 208 equals, and now I need to do that. 3.14 times 4 gives me 12.56. And then r squared. The next step would be to divide both sides by 12.56. So it's gone right there. So I've got 208 divided by 12.56. That gives me quite an ugly number. I'm going to just round it to 16.56. 16.56 equals r squared. Now, I just randomly chose that because this is an example. If worksheets aren't specific, then you just choose what you want to round it to. I usually do 2 decimal places, but make sure you pay attention because if they're specific, you obviously want to follow the directions. Now, I am not done with my problem because my r is not all by itself. Right now, it says r squared is 16.56. That means that if I square whatever my radius is, I would end up here. And squaring is multiplying something by itself. The way that you undo a square is by square rooting. If you remember back to, we learned that in Pythagorean theorem unit a long time ago. Squaring a square root makes it go away. So now I'm going to square root 16.56. Do I have that button? Yes, I do. Good. 16.56. Square root of that is, and then again, I'm going to round it to like 2 decimal points. So I have 4.07 about. So my radius is, actually, I'm not even going to put in an equal sign because I'm rounding, about 4.07 centimeters. And that would be my answer. So when you're being asked to find the radius, you're always going to square root at the end because the formula has a square in it. Okay. So I want to show you guys one more type of problem. I'm going to ask you just to find the volume. However, I'm going to be specific that I want you to leave your answer. Leave answer. This is going to sound weird. In terms of pi. So sometimes you're going to see problems where they ask you to leave your answer in terms of pi. And let me show you what that means. So if I were to try to solve this, I would have to find the volume. I know I'm going to actually leave it as a pi symbol this time instead of writing 3.14. I know my radius in this problem that I drew right here is 3 since the diameter is 6. So my radius is 3 and my height is 9. And if I'm being asked to leave my answer in terms of pi, essentially what that means is they want you to multiply, divide, square, do everything in your problem except for multiply by pi. They don't want you to do that. So what we would do here is we would leave the pi symbol, we would square the 3 and get 9. Then we would, again, leave the pi symbol, multiply your 9s and get 81. And you would stop. You would be done right there. The volume is 81 times pi, which is 3.14, and you could multiply that out, but since this specifically asks you to leave your answer in terms of pi, you would end your problem right there, and that would be your answer. I didn't write any units, so I can't say centimeters or inches or anything, but that would be what they want. So if they ever say leave your answer in terms of pi, your answer should still have the pi symbol because you did not multiply it out. And you will see that on certain worksheets. So I just wanted you guys to keep that in mind. Okay, I think that's it. I have a practice worksheet for you guys on the website. And as always, let me know if you need any help. See you later.